Alright, today I'm going to be sharpening a little something different. This was given to me to sharpen. It's a Marttinni. It's made in Finland. I've never owned one of these. I've heard of them, of course, but never owned one, never sharpened one. So it's the first time. I believe the steel is 420. I'm not really certain. It's got a little bit of pitting on it or something. It's a beautiful knife. Show you the sheath here. I'm kind of surprised, you know, wasn't really familiar with the pricing on them. I think this one goes in like $30–40 range, somewhere in there. It's just a beautiful knife. So. No real damage or anything to it, just needs a touch up. Still cuts, but kind of rough. Kind of tearing a little bit. I'm just going to use, since I don't need to take a lot of material off, Spyderco medium, and then I'll hit it on the fine, maybe flip it over to the side I refinished to about 1 or 2 microns, kind of like an ultra fine side. Don't know if I'll go that far, but feels like I've got a very, very fine burr, but not quite all the way, so pretty close. Kind of curious as to what kind of edge is going to come up on this. Feels like it's going to be fairly keen, just kind of get a sense of, after sharpening a lot of different steels over the years. But we'll find out. Now when I looked at this, you know, it already had a little bit of a micro bevel on it, so it looks like a scandi grind, but I'm guessing from the factory or whoever sharpened this previously put some kind of a very fine small micro bevel on it, so a secondary bevel. I don't think I can. Yeah, I won't quite focus, but. Got a burr on most of it, but there's a couple little spots that are not quite quite there yet. So. Just about. Call that good and flip over. Now, probably won't have to spend nearly as much time on this side. Normally you flip it over, the burr comes up a little faster, but try and make sure the bevels are fairly even. I don't know if you can see, it's got a pretty decent sized burr worked up already. You can see right about here is where it starts and then it ends. If you take a light and flight, like an angle like this, you can really easily see a burr. Even the finest burr you can pick up. So if you're having a hard time feeling it, you got your hands kind of lose sensitivity, maybe kind of like mine. You get a little older and stuff like that happens. Use a flashlight, use a magnifying glass, whatever you got to use. Alright, call that good. Yeah, probably should have cleaned these beforehand. Oh well. So this will be the the coarser side. I leveled both sides of these with diamond. I got this, I want to say it's a little coarser than the 302F, which is normally like 6 micron. This is probably like 7 or 8 micron. The medium's 15, and then this other side I finished, it's probably, I'm going to guess, around 1 or 2 microns. I've messed around with these quite a bit over the years, refinishing them, and I finally found something I really like. And I tell you, I leveled this before several times, but I didn't take it all the way down, and there was kind of some spots that were a little bit lower. So it was, when I leveled it, it was probably like up to here, and then back in the corners was not, wasn't getting hit by the stone, or if I was using silicon carbide powder, whatever. But I finally decided just to completely level these, and my God, it took me 2.5 to 3 hours of scrubbing on diamond plates. I mean, these things are freaking crazy hard. 300 grit, very aggressive diamond plate. Those ultra sharp. Like I said, 2-3 hours at least. And finally, I got both sides where I want. And it's the diamond plates, those ultra sharps, pretty impressive. I thought I was going to destroy it, spending that much time on a sintered ceramic stone leveling it, and it reduced the aggression a little bit, but didn't even phase it. It didn't remove any diamonds off the surface. It's perfectly fine. Well, I really like the way this steel sharpens. This just feels like it's going to take a really fine, keen edge. I wish I had some of that test media for my tester. I'd love to see what the sharpness is on this after I'm done. Guess I'm going to have to break down and buy some more of that stuff. Definitely got a burr. Got a nice fine burr worked all the way up, except for right here. Now I'm really reducing the pressure. Just trying to fatigue that burr, flip it back and forth. Hope that some of it falls off, or hope that most of it falls off, and if I need to, I'll strop it a little bit. I can feel pieces breaking off right there. It's not hanging on to any kind of a burr very well. Some of these steels, you know, get a little bit of a burr and they just kind of don't want to come off. This is coming off real easy. Almost like you'd see in one of the powder type steels, the something like S30V or something like that. Now I was going to do some quick refining passes on the finest side and see where it's at. I can feel little bits of burr breaking off, which is good. Get a nice clean apex here by the time I'm done. Right now I'm just using the lightest pressure, just enough to hold onto the knife and control the angle. No downward force at all. Feels pretty good. Let's see if there's any hang-ups on it. Look at that. Whew. Puppy sharp now. Where did I put that in? Oh boy. Well, I'm going to get one of my ugly strops here. This is piece of scrap basswood. I got some of my 1 micron spray on both sides. Definitely not pretty, but it works. So. And it really doesn't need it. Things just screaming sharp right now, but why not? You know, a lot of people use leather for the substrate when they're stropping, and you know, leather's fine. I love using leather, but I think a lot of people misuse it. You know, I think they use a too coarse of abrasive. I think they use way too much force on it, and you got to be really careful when you're, especially on a real fine edge. If you're stropping on leather, it's real easy to kind of screw up your edge. And I think most people would probably benefit from using something like basswood. It's just much more forgiving. It makes your abrasives more aggressive. And there are some downsides to it, but for the most part, like I said, I think most people would benefit from using this. One thing I'll say is if your knife is really sharp or even fairly sharp, when you get off the stones And after you start stropping and you feel it, if it's duller, you're doing something wrong. So kind of check your angle, maybe lighten up on the pressure a little bit, but it definitely should not be duller after you're done stropping on a fine abrasive. So. I mean, that's just, whew. That puppy is just screaming sharp now. I think they'll be happy with that. So, anyways, like I said, it's just a beautiful knife. Kind of a budget knife, but man, is it nice. It's just got a real nice handle on it, real nice finish. Takes just an absolutely killer edge. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.